Only a fool learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. The great questions of the day will not be settled by means of speeches and majority decisions, but by iron and blood. All treaties between great states cease to be binding when they come in conflict with the struggle for existence. Anyone who has ever looked into the glazed eyes of a soldier dying on the battlefield will think hard before starting a war. Preventive war is like committing suicide out of fear of death. Crowned heads, wealth and privilege may well tremble should ever again the black and red unite. Be polite, write diplomatically. Even in a declaration of war, one observes the rules of politeness. Fools say that they learn by experience. I prefer to profit by others' experience. Laws are like sausages. It is better not to see them being made. One day the great European war will come out of some damned foolish thing in the Balkans. The statesman's task is to hear God's footsteps marching through history, and to try and catch on to his coattails as he marches past. With a gentleman, I am always a gentleman and a half, and with a fraud, I try to be a fraud and a half. Man cannot control the current of events. He can only float with them and steer. A really great man is known by three signs: generosity in the design, humanity in the execution, moderation in success. We Germans fear God, but nothing else in the world. Politics are not a science based on logic. They are the capacity of always choosing at each instant, in constantly changing situations, the least harmful, the most useful. Political judgment is the ability to hear the distant hoofbeats of the horse of history. Woe to the leader whose arguments at the end of a war are not as plausible as they were at the beginning. I have found that nothing so deceives your adversaries as telling them the truth. An appeal to fear never finds an echo in German hearts. You can't destroy the Polish national consciousness or Poles on the battlefield, but if you give them power, they will destroy themselves. Aware of sentimental alliances where the consciousness of good deeds is the only compensation for noble sacrifices. I have only one ambition left. I should like to have a good epitaph. Faust complained about having two souls in his breast, but I harbor a whole crowd of them and they quarrel. It is like being in a republic. The statesman's task is to hear God's footsteps marching through history, and to try and catch on to his coattails as he marches past. Life is like being at the dentist. You always think that the worst is still to come, and yet it is over already. Politics is the art of the possible, the science of the relative.